And good afternoon. Welcome to Crown Lanes in Leavenworth, Kansas. As this is will this be the fourth to last stop for the Northwest Missouri Senior Bowlers Tour. I'm Ryan Ragland, and we are waiting for the standing sheet. Hey, Brandon. Number one, I need you to grab a mic. Number two, either that or get one of you two guys on.
Sam will grab the mic.
Sam will grab the mic. Can you get me a final standing sheet? And then, hey, whenever Dan's ready, I need the final standing sheet for qualifying and their qualifying scores. Whenever he's done with them. Thanks. Come on, Sam. Come on, Sam. You're talking today, son. You got a beer in your hand. I know you're talking. You're talking today. You got a beer in your hand. I should.
If I ain't got a headphone, I'm done.
Well, that way you don't have to hear yourself. It'll just be us.
I like talking to myself.
I'm not even touching that one for nothing.
That's all I do.
Sit down. Grinder don't want to talk. He talks enough the way it is. You can hear me.
I can't.
Yeah, you'll be able to hear me. Thank you, sir.
What else you want?
Our sheets that we wrote our scores down on for the top five. David Axon.
Tony was
Before you take off, your total analysis of this?
Well, I had a good day. I was really hoping I left a 9-pin that would have been nice to carry because it had been here. And if Tony and I would have both struck out, Tony and I would have been 4th and 5th. So it would have been a nice little fun.
That would have been awesome.
But I wanted to make it and put Tony on the mic.
for a little revenge factor?
Yeah, that would have been funny. But because I would have loved his comments would have been stylish.
They probably would have heard him too.
Yeah.
But no, real quick about the lanes were pretty nice early, but man, when that transition hit, you got to move zones.
Like I said, I started out and I shot 270 something the first game and threw the ball really good. Didn't change anything, and like you said, the carry went away and go 2-0 and scores jumped. But what was so funny about it, I got into a nice little run and I shot 250 in game 5, I think it was. I said, all right, that's good. I jumped one spot. And I went, oh, my God.
I know. It was you shoot 230, 240, you think you're doing good, and you lost pins.
So games 5 and 6, it jumped 42 pins each game. I don't know what it jumped from game 6 to game 7. I couldn't remember.
I didn't look at that either, but, for me, games 1, 3, 5, 7, I was gangbusters. 2, 4, 6, I was toast. So that was kind of weird.
In game 6, and it was just a great ball change. I went 120 over for those 2 games, so it was a pretty good change. But I pretty much threw a phase 2 all day, and
I still need to get me one of those.
Just kept changing, just kept chasing it in, just a little at a time.
This condition was not. This house condition is not a condition where you're going to throw one ball for 7 games.
Unless you're left-handed.
This is true.
But the thing, the transition on here was what was funny about it is that when the ball got through the front part of the lanes, if you got it to the right, you 3/4 half 10, and if you tried to really get on it, and then it jumped. So that transition was really, really, while I say it's small, it was actually large.
It was very defiant, but it was to the point where it would kind of tease you. You thought you could tweak it a little bit and get it there, and then you find out you've got to make the ball change and a zone move.
Yeah, see, that's the one thing I didn't do on this tournament that we've had to do in the past, like I did yesterday in the doubles tournament, is you literally had to make zone changes. Now, you see that ball he threw there, he got out. Bye, Gary. The ball there that he just threw, he got it out early, and that thing checked up.
Oh,
but if he would have got that in just a hair and pushed it, it was been a weak 10.
It was. I made
a strong ball too.
Yeah, he's throwing the Nova. The one thing I told you, I think it was like 15 and 16 or. Yeah, I think it was 15 and 16. I told you when I looked at 16, I looked up. the reflection from the light on the lane, it looked like someone took a towel and just wiped straight up 15 and just eliminated it.
My deal when we were my last few games, I was looking at the front part of the lane. I didn't kind of look down lane because you didn't have to, because the break point today was closer to you than it was further down. So
Yeah, I made.
if you'll watch these guys play, you'll see that.
I think that area he's at, he's got to get at least 5 left with that ball.
Oh, with that, yeah, he's either going to have to either ball down just a hair, something that's not so strong in the mid lane, and go to a symmetrical ball, and bring his line back here, because the head oil is still pretty good. So
Yeah, the head's there, but like the move I made, I pulled out the Synergy Go 77 on the low end on 3/4, so on 9 and 10, I move over to 11, 12 or 15, 16, whatever it was, and it started from there and it blew up. So I had to ball down to a vibe and get into the oil to get the ball down the lane.
I went down to a Spectra to get some nice front, so I could get a little smoother through the front part of the lane, and it just like you suck it to the hole, and that's what he's playing. He's piking it right now.
And Mason can do that with that tilt he has.
Oh, that's what he did, and he stayed outside quite a little bit, and I'm surprised he stayed. His ball held up as much as it did off the outside, but. He's got that little suitcase roll, and it serves him very good, especially on house shots as they break down. So
and
take what you get.
Yeah, and I'm not going to hate him for it, because that's just how it is. If he can, there's going to be conditions he's going to drown him, because he doesn't have the hand for it. Where guys that have the hand for it, will have problems keeping the ball in line here. And like that one there, he just got a nice roll up on it.
He got it outside, and then that's like I said, just the way our transition happened, is that he got that ball outside, and of course his way he gets the ball, his tilt is not as heavy. And I will say, if you had the straight plays, you needed some tilt off the back. So, hey, I'll see you back at the house.
I think your ride's leaving without you.
No, he's going to dinner with his daughter and son-in-law, our future son-in-law, I should say.
Oh, the future.
Yeah.
I didn't even check to make sure we had sound on this thing going.
Well, I'm going to go over here and collect some dollars. I will see you in Omaha.
All right. I'm not going to be in Omaha.
You're not coming at all?
I ain't going to be able to. Well, I was going to do the Saturday, but then, if I do that, I want to do both. And when I got to be up at 4 o'clock in the morning on Monday.
He made the move. He moved his zone inside. He kept the ball away from getting out quick, and he came to the hole. Just
amazing how that happens.
Amazing.
He hurt us.
I must have. What's funny is, it's like do as I say, not as I do.
Exactly.
I can look back here and tell you all day and I see it, but when I'm up there, sometimes it's a little different. So, but yeah, not good.
Well, have a good trip back, Dave. We'll see you soon, man. Sam? He said he was going to take off.
Oh.
But, so I guess now we can talk about who we have on here. I need to actually pull it up on YouTube and make sure we have decent sound, because we do. But also make sure you hit the chat. We'd like to hear from you. You got to talk into the mic.
I'm talking to you.
Oh, you got to talk into the mic. You can talk to me. You got to talk to the mic.
Where's my winning ticket?
Yeah, where's the winning ticket there, Scott? He put it in his pocket.
Where's my winning ticket?
There you go. John Schaefer from Odessa and Kevin Mason from Independence bowling right now. Actually, you can see Kevin because you can see the name on the back of his shirt. But Kevin, pretty solid. Had one hiccup game 2. He goes 69, 181, 24, 58, 34, 65, 44. That's pretty solid.
Real good.
And do what now?
7. You got the finals after 7 games?
Have them somewhere. You should have them right over there on the table. Yeah. And then John goes, John was pretty consistent. He goes 35, 35, a big 279, 214, 68, 22, 26. So 269 over for John to qualify fourth. Kevin Mason 275 over to qualify fifth. And this is going to get interesting now that John actually kind of moved in a little bit. And I'll tell you what, Kevin's doing something right there we usually don't see him do. He's actually slowing down, and he's actually utilizing that oil a little bit where he's usually, punching it straight through. Huh?
I didn't find any oil. I ran out of oil when I was bowling.
I didn't. I kept moving in, and I was fine. There's a better
There's a
look
good
for John.
shot.
Yeah. And that's kind of like Dave and me were talking about. He had to get left and utilize some of that oil. But hit us up on the chat room and make sure you hit the like and the subscribe button and the alert bell. And then whenever we go on with a broadcast, you'll get a notification on it. Next month is in Omaha, which is a Saturday-Sunday doubleheader. One is at Western, and the other one is at Mockingbird. There's a
neat
nice little
double.
three-bagger. Thanks, sir. The other qualifiers was Dave Axon at 274, missed by a pin. Rick Dombrowski at 267 over. Tony Monta Jr. This is the first time that Tony has bowled one of these and didn't make the cut.
Really?
Yeah, that I can remember. Bart Roth from Mexico City, he goes 243 over. I'm reading that. I'd take you and then, well, that's true. And then Kevin Duncan, also from Mexico, goes 236 over. Tom Patton, 235 over. And Doug Bernjiger goes 222 over. And the Julius Mickle was the first Super Senior check. And Gary Livingston was the second Super Senior check. So scores were pretty, and I'll tell you what, 378. I didn't think it'd be that high. I thought 300 might be a number, but these things were very scoreable for a while, but kind of like we were talking about. If you're going to, when you saw the breakdown, like Dave said, it looked like it was a small move, but you had to make a big move with the ball change. You weren't, unless you're left-handed, you don't have the traffic over there.
That's true. Left-handers got an advantage on us. Yeah, I bowled with three of those guys at Cash, and I just couldn't get it. The last two games I couldn't carry.
Oh, I had
Dabrowski and all those two guys from Mexico City.
Yeah.
Bart threw the ball great. Rick just had a bad last game.
he got that one out early.
Yeah.
And now Kevin is not bowling his A game. He likes to really push it up. I call it the shim. He likes to really get parallel to the track area and just let the ball roll up, where now the way these are, you have to cover some boards. I finished on this pair and brought out a Dream Big Pearl that's not even on the market anymore. It's probably the last one of the last ones drilled. And I was...
Oh, there's a mistake by Kevin.
Yeah, I was probably 18 to 8, getting a good swing on it and staying inside that burn area that's around 15. How about the U.S. Open, the Tournament Champions? Was that crazy? You probably didn't watch it. It was on the screens.
I didn't watch it.
Oh, jeez.
I just seen that one guy choke in the 10th frame at one time. That's all I watched.
Which one? They both did.
The one that missed a single pin.
They both did.
Well, the other guy left the washout, but
Oh,
they can't
Tommy.
miss single pins.
Yeah, that was kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Maldonado misses a 10 pin, and then Tommy Jones misses a 7. It's like,
Well, who won it?
that would be Mr. Don Barrett.
Don Barrett.
He is the
Don Barrett beat the
eighth-
Shark.
Yep, 8th bowler in history to win the Triple Crown.
I've seen that part, but I never really
Hardwig.
paid attention to it. I just
Hardwig, I'm trying to remember all of them. Hardwig, Albee,
tried-
Pete, Chris.
Deadeye.
Yeah. And Duke.
What about,
There's someone else I'm
what
missing
about
that's on the early one.
What about the two-hander?
Oh, Belmonte. Yep. How can you forget Belmonte?
Well, we have a tight game going into the ninth frame.
Mason can strike out. He can go 225.
Yeah, the other
And
guy's looking at
228.
228.
So it would behoove Kevin to at least get a three-bagger. Pinch high.
A little toasty right now.
He needs to. I think he needs to get a couple boards in, get that ball down the lane a little bit.
It don't look like he's throwing it as hard as he normally throws, though.
That's what I mean. He's not jamming it like he likes to do and keep the speed up.
Well, both them guys are pretty well jammers. I bowled against him in St. Louis. He just went hard up the boards. The other guy.
And I started doing that with my ex. I was not covering a lot of boards, but man, when it changed, it was big. And Brian Manini getting ready as he is qualified third. David, God, I'm trying to remember how he pronounces his name. Kucera, yeah. He is second. And Don Breeden, both of the last two out of Urbandale, out of the Des Moines area. I'll tell you what, Des Moines area is getting some bowlers out there. You got Tom Hess with the Senior U.S. Open and the world champion in Dubai earlier this year. Not that the Northwest Missouri Senior Bowlers Tour matches up with that, but
This Northwest Missouri drawing more talent down
yeah.
here. The scoring level
it's going up.
It went up 100 pins since I started 3 years ago.
Well, I think this 378 might be the highest that we've had. I'm sure we probably had a
about making
400.
the finals.
Oh yeah. Well,
275
275.
over.
I was thinking 250, 275 was going to, lead it.
Yeah. Yeah, more and more better bowlers are showing up for it, and they're going to have to. They keep getting bigger. They're going to have to find some bigger centers, unless
Need to get some big sponsors for the broadcast too. And you got that one a little bit further down lane and got it to set up.
Yeah. Yeah. Schaefer needs a mark in the 10th to seal the deal.
Actually, Yeah, this isn't Kevin's A game.
Winner, chicken
And
dinner.
that's going to be a winner for John Schaefer. So, Brian Manini is going to be taking on John Schaefer. And I just got to look. 63, 54, 47, 47, 22, 16, 39. Oh, that was Manini. Oh, there's Breeden. 39, 57, 58, 19, 60. Look at that. 67, 59, 79. The last three. So he goes 20, 190 almost. Yeah, he goes 80 something.
Yeah.
18, 820. That'll get you up there. That's about what I had to do just to make a check. The last three.
Wish I could have done that.
So Kevin Mason's going to finish.
I'm going to go get my money.
You go get your money. And we'll be back with the next matchup with John Schaefer and Brian Manini here in a few minutes. All right, back with you at Crown Lanes, Ryan Ragland on the Northwest Missouri Senior Bowlers Tour as Brian Manini and John Schaefer are bowling for the third, fourth spot position. One thing I just got done looking at, we were talking about the scores, had a total of 50 bowlers, and there was only 5 that did not average 200 or better. And even then, the lowest was only 28 under. If that tells you the high scoring pace that we've had here for a while. He's back again. I don't know. I'm waiting for him to chime in. John said he's waiting for our friend Mark to chime in. So Mark, you have your presence has been requested by Mr. Crucera. And once John moved inside a little bit, he's like it. In fact, I'm kind of surprised that Nova that he's throwing is holding like it is. What did the score? I don't know. He'll have it down there. I should have wrote it down. 2 totally different styles. And a 2-8-10 for Manini. I thought Manini would be playing a little bit tighter inside, but his last game, 239, he was on 21-22. That's not gonna make it. He was trying a little back up. I thought he was gonna be a little bit more inside and not covering as many boards. As the winner of this match will be taking on David Crucera out of Urbandale, Iowa, just south of Des Moines. That's about the line I was throwing. I was a little bit more angular than that, but the power that and speed that Manini has. Hey Brian, what ball are you throwing? What ball are you throwing?
Astrophysics.
The which one?
Astrophysics.
Oh, the astrophysics? Okay. Just a little outside 20. Now that's that happy medium area where you can still get it to the pocket, but the ball wants to go too long down lane. And that's where you got to give it just that little bit of room to get it to push back through. You want to come on a little bit, Kevin? You want to talk a little bit? Oh, come on. Sit down. Sit down a bit. This condition right as it sets right now is not your A game.
Not what?
It's not your A game. It's not what you normally like to do. You like to...
I'm down and in.
Yeah, but you could tell on this one you had to get a little bit soft with the speed, move left, let the oil push it through and get to finish, and I think it was the one in the ninth where you can tell you got it out just a bit early.
Yeah. Yeah.
What were you throwing?
That was a Zenith.
Zenith? Okay.
Yeah. I played that shot pretty much all day today. That set right here, when I threw it, I didn't ever hit what I was looking at. It's
Right.
I don't know why, you know. I mean, that's bad.
It's an easy concept. You hit what you're looking at, but when you don't do that, it doesn't help well.
It doesn't
so.
help. So yeah, we didn't really throw the ball very well that game, and I kind of.
Real quick, they have NASCAR on, and NASCAR is going 5 wide, and I don't know what this is for. They're doing a parade lap 5 wide.
Huh. I have no
I
idea.
don't. Why are they doing that?
I don't know either. Oh, has
And I'm a NASCAR guy, and I didn't hear they were going to do this. I don't know, unless it's something new or whatever. Or
where'd you end up at today?
oh
You
Lord,
going?
I don't know. A friend of mine asked me how did I do, and I go, well, first, third, fifth, and seventh game, I was great. I was 19th.
19th.
19th, 174 over.
That's
And I made the stat. Only, did you see the last page of the standings?
no.
How many people do you think did not average 200 or more?
So I never looked at one sheet at all today. I don't know, maybe 20?
5.
5, okay. So I'd
5,
That's-
and the lowest score was 28 under.
So everybody bowled pretty good today, really.
A
Everybody
lot,
bowled.
yeah. And even, even if you were struggling with the transition, you could, you were still close to the 200 average. And it's kind of strange where when you have that much breakdown with the way the lanes were, and was talking to Dave Axon, and I think he nailed it perfectly. It would give you the feel that you had to make a small move, but you had to make a ball change and a zone move. You weren't, outside of guys like you where you have the high tilt and you can kind of spin a little bit more to push it through the fronts when you need to. Guys that had the hand or that can, really circle the lane.
Yeah, looped the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, the people who were looping it, they didn't seem like they did very well today, from what I saw. It's like more, but I started off really good, and then the second game, I lost everything. I shot 181, and then I had to regroup.
Yeah. And that's what I would do. I go, I go like 250. All right, good. 180. Damn. All right, come back over. 230. Could have been 250. All right, I'll take the 230. Crap, game of the third one. Dang. All right, let's get back on it. Pull out the synergy. 77. All right, here we go. 170. What the hell?
Yeah. I didn't change balls at all today. I changed my line and where I was wanting the ball to go to. It was,
And that kind of goes back to what I was saying. You have the ability to really push it through if you can shim it. I call playing the shim where you're just barely inside and you can give it a couple boards and just get it to feed up. Then you're fine.
Get it out to the dry so it has a chance. That was something, that you have to give, you have to get, the ball has to have a chance. It's got to be rolling flush in the pocket, to really have a good shot. And that game there.
There is no book of absolutes.
No.
Whatever the end result is.
No, there's not. There's not.
That's a nice gift for Mr. Manini.
Yeah, he does a lot of ball.
As John's find himself in a little bit of a hole, I think.
Yeah.
He goes double, and then he got the ball kind of that little mid area where it'll get down lane, but it's not going to read back. And since then, he really hasn't. There, he got some room.
Yep.
And then it burns up a little bit trying to get back.
10.
So,
10.
and that
Just getting the ball out in the alley.
and that
Often,
Nova, and that Nova's that thing will burn up even if it's got some lane shine. It's still going to have some teeth and burn up on you.
Looks like you got it. The spares, I missed that spare, in that game. That you cannot miss. Spare.
That was one I
That's a huge
I was
thing.
doing. I think I missed. I know I missed two. I took the 3 off to 3.6, and I took the 2.9 or the 3.9 off to 3.69, and I think I had 4 missed, but none of them were single pins. But spares weren't going to get it today anyway.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, some strikes. I missed a $7.80 game. I missed 2 10s.
Well,
And that's
something you don't do very often. I would say if Brian doubles here, that's pretty much going to solidify the game for him.
I think right now, quick way the shot is, a guy like Brian, that's his game.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, and I bowled Brian in Topeka in the finals, and neither one of us really ran away with it. But it makes you feel better if you can at least get on top of him early. Not that you're going to put pressure on him or anything, because
He's a good bowler.
he really doesn't feel that much pressure. But and I would say he probably has the strongest ball that bowls this. And you're not going to find many senior bowlers that has a ball as strong as he does.
Good job, Brian. Yeah, he bowls pretty well. Oh, I sure like
And
bowling
then-
these tournaments, even when we're really calm.
Now you went to Ozarks,
Yes.
did pretty well.
Yeah. Me and Daryl bowled doubles. We ended up 11th. We missed cash. I didn't bowl very well in doubles, and then singles. Neither one of us bowled well in singles down there.
I thought when you shot 300 down there,
Yeah, I shot 300.
was that the highlight?
That was a highlight.
That was the highlight. Okay, well,
Yeah, that was the highlight of my weekend.
are you going to Omaha next month?
We are going to go to Omaha. Me and Daryl both are going to go up there. And bowl.
I told him, I said, since I would like to go up there and bowl them both. If I take a day off on Monday getting back, then I miss out on all the overtime on Friday, so that kind of hurts. And so, and I thought about going Saturday. Well, if I go Saturday, I'm going to want to stay Sunday. And plus, on top of that, I found out my boys' night ranger is going to be in Miami, Oklahoma, at a concert. So
You'll be.
I'm going to be
Probably missing
southward.
that
I'm going to be southward, yeah.
That's okay. I mean, it's hard to bowl
And-
them all. There's always something that comes
And
up.
and I wanted to go to Ozarks, but it damn work gets in the way.
That was
The
a fun
hell?
little tournament. I'm going to go bowl the PBA 50. down
Yeah,
there.
I thought about that too, but I'm still kind of that same deal. I'm not throwing the ball well enough to bowl on that condition, and I haven't bowled on that stuff for a long time, and I'm still. I don't know. I don't know if it'll be hard pressed if I bowl. In fact, I probably should drop my PBA card.
Now, come on down. I've
I-
never bowled one in my entire life, so I
Well,
thought, heck, I'll try it.
Yeah, it's
Man,
that's
it's a lot of ball.
a Manini shot.
That's
You got to yell Manini on that one.
wow.
Oh, he's grabbing an MVP still. I had an MVP and I didn't think it was too bad, but I just didn't find a spot for it that much. So Brian Manini is going to be taking on David Cusera,
Sarah.
and I'll tell you what, you talk about contrasting styles, that's going to be it. So a good
This would be
finish.
totally different, yeah.
Yeah. So 263, 180 with Manini with the win. We're going to take a timeout. We'll be back in a couple minutes with the next the semifinal match. Ryan Ragel back with you in Leavenworth, Kansas at Crown Lanes for the semifinal match of the Northwest Missouri Senior Bowlers Tour, as David Crucera out of Urbandale is getting ready to take on Brian Manini. And David Crucera had a 299 game 2. His score is pretty solid: 200, 99, 15, 51, 58, 48, 48. That's getting it done. 319 over.
Kept it simple for me, Scott.
Trying to get Brandon Leibel over here to talk. He won't do it. I get Scotty over here. Get over here. We get Scott over here. He's got an announcement to make. I think him talking about something.
He's pregnant.
The rabbit died. Scott Greiner, one of the head guys with the Northwest Missouri Senior Bowlers Tour, and just got done holding 2 tournaments last month down there in the Ozarks. And you got a big one coming up in a couple weeks down there in the Ozarks.
We do. Is that on?
That's on.
Yeah, we're hosting a PBA 50 regional tour March 18th through the 20th.
That'll be pretty good for you guys. And that first one's always the hard one to try to get going, but once you get that one going, and if you're able to make that a regular deal, it makes it a lot easier.
Oh, I think it'll be a regular deal. Our sponsor, Four Seasons Property Management, I think is going to be there for us for quite some time.
That'll be good.
And what they do is they...
I mean, God forbid a hotel sit there and sponsor in the Ozarks. I mean...
Yeah. And actually what they do is there's people who have condos that let them rent their condos out.
Oh, really?
And so you're going to go down there and you're going to get a condo for the price of a hotel room. So, and you know, you can have a condo on the lake, you can have one on the water, you can actually rent a house if you wanted to.
As they say, that does not suck.
No, it does not. It's a great vacation destination, you know. So
yeah, I wanted to go to the 2 last month, but like I said, it's kind of like Omaha. If I do one, I'm going to want to do both. And, you know, getting up at 4 in the morning really sucks.
Yeah, I would
day.
agree. I would agree.
This contrast in styles. You got the power guy Manini.
Yeah.
And then you got what do you call David? You'd call him the I don't want to say finesse.
He's a stroker.
Just nice easy stroker.
I think he's a stroker.
Nothing crazy, nothing silly.
Yeah. We got one of these travel guys that wants to do the commentating on this.
Uh-oh.
If you don't mind, I'll bring Doug in.
Bring him down. We can have fun with it. That's all Scott wanted to talk about. He just wanted to talk about the PBA 50.
I used to be a DJ years ago. So I got no headphones, so can I hear you?
No. I only got one. I actually had my equipment bag that got kind of popped off out of my truck, and it had my headsets and my microphones for my wireless set that I had, and it's like, all right, so now I've got this for now. I've got my splitter. I've got to get a couple other things going. So Kevin Duncan chimes in, says, "Bring it home, Rags." All righty, son. Be careful. As David Crucera goes strike, spare, strike. And I was talking to Scott. This is the contrast in styles between these two, between Manini and Crucera. It's kind of interesting when you have contrasting styles like this and how they play them.
Yeah, Dave Kuchera throws the ball very well, real smooth, consistent, doesn't miss his mark very often.
Well, yeah, when you're not covering boards, you don't have to worry about. That means less that you have to worry about.
He's throwing a dark code today. I bowled with him last weekend in Clinton, Iowa, and he was 350 over for 6.
Jeez.
And throwing the same ball, basically about the same release.
That makes me feel bad. And then you got Manini again, just sit there and just power right through. And I made the comment, I think Manini might be probably one of the strongest senior bowlers you're going to find anywhere.
Yeah, he gets it all, for sure.
He does not get cheated on his release.
No. Dave Kuchera is very methodical.
Simple game, nothing.
Yeah, he's tough.
There's if I was to throw that line, I probably could, but I have two balls that I could probably do that, but my thing was I have too much loop in my swing. So if I get more of that loop, then I'm sending it right accidentally, and then if I do that, I'm bringing friction 20 feet down lane and I'm toast.
Dave was playing. He's a little farther in right now, so the gutters must be drying up.
Oh, they're the heads. You just have to keep migrating left with the oil.
Yeah, he's around 15.
That
yeah,
one.
Greek church
I
there.
don't know if he caught it with his hand or something. It just didn't look like it came off his hand well.
Yeah, he gets a little soft, and he gets an early roll with that dark coat, and then that pins down
is he
on
throwing
that.
what I think he's throwing for a spare ball? A burgundy hammer?
Yeah, that's actually a Axis weighted burgundy hammer.
Yeah.
Actually, Don Breeden found that. We were in a tournament about 3 weeks ago, and we brought home 18 balls, and that was one of them.
Well, yeah. I mean, look who we're talking about. We're talking about Mr. Ancient Equipment, where if he can find an angle, he'll bring that home with him too.
Yep, we have a contest. I got airbags on my truck, so I have to put air in my bags when we go home because I've got an extra 20 balls that we came with.
Jeez. And so, how many balls does Breeden have?
I think he was out in the driveway today when we picked him up at 5:30, and he had like 6 double ball bags with us. And then there's probably not anything newer than like 19.
I was going to say, what was the newest ball he had?
Maybe a 2000.
Yeah, and watching practice on 24, he's still playing it up the pipe. And I kind of wondered about trying to throw that later because I have a ball that it'll get long, but it won't quit. It won't die.
Yeah,
and I just never got there. I never did it, so I'm kind of like, I wonder. And that's about the time, it doesn't work for me because then I feel like I'm trying to overthink the lane or I'm trying to outsmart the lane or something. Then you got a guy like Don Breeden that does what he does during qualifying and, just kills it.
Donnie doesn't really mose away from where he's at outside of 15 and out. But he's got about 25 different releases to play out there with. So that's what's deceiving from the whole game that he has.
Yeah, he's really, you can tell he's, and here's the one thing, and I'm just looking over watching Don, and he threw a different ball than he did before. That's not something I would really do because that's not the pair I'm bowling on, and it's already been proven on the difference from like 2 pairs over.
Well, the thing with Donnie is he knows what his balls do, so the reaction that he's looking for. So when he moves over to 19 and 20 and he sees that reaction similar to it, then that's where he goes and that's where he plays.
Knows where he's going to go with it.
Yeah. Dave Kuchera could still be in this. He needs to keep striking.
It's kind of like what Don's doing. It's kind of like what I do when I do practice, and I don't as much as I should. But taking like 3 or 4 balls that are totally different from each other, bowl a game with each one to get a lineup, and then my last game I'll sit there and throw like two frames with each ball as a game and see what I can do with it and see where. Because if you're changing line, you've got to change your vision of it on top of that, of your feel of your hand. Maybe I'm not going to catch it with this one, even though I'm left, I'm not going to catch it as much, So yeah, if you're down to like 2 or 3 balls that you're probably going to use, you're probably set up pretty well. And God for me to tell Don I wouldn't do that if I was him because He killed me by two.
Well, Donnie's won
250.
more money than we probably have ever thought about winning. He's tough to beat, especially when he's in the number 1 spot.
Kevin Duncan says Don Breeden is a legend.
He is a legend.
Ooh, that's an equalizer.
Yeah, but Dave's still in this. So we got to keep striking.
Another guy heading back to Larned, Rafe Terry. I told him, he goes, I'll have to watch when I get home. I said, well, you can listen to it while you're driving. He goes, yeah, I guess I could. I said, that's what I do with Flow Bowling, because, you know, they're going to be talking about all this, and the guys that they have on talk about, you know, old stories about, you know, bowlings and different, you know, the older bowlers and stuff, and I'll turn it on and I'll just listen to it. I won't even look at the phone.
Davey needs to bear down here. Throw a
Yeah,
good pitch here.
He's needing a couple strikes here to help him out.
There.
That one was, you know, that looked pretty close to the last shot he threw there, where I thought it was going to pinch up.
Yeah, the gutters are starting to hook a little bit, and you know, if Dave gets a little bit slow, that's the only way he could get in trouble, because he's so accurate where he's at.
Now that's the one thing I just saw what Breeden's doing. He's playing that outside, but you've got to get that ball to read so correctly to push through. And he goes clack 10 on one of his practice shots, and maybe that's part of the reason why I don't do it as much, because I'm so afraid I'm going to push it right past the spot that I need. Gives that one a little bit more room.
Very nice shot,
just
Dave.
Dead
Very nice
flush.
shot. Well, you know, Donnie's got so many different releases. He's throwing a urethane ball in practice, and he's, you know, got his thumb down and trying to kill the shot through the heads, and
trying to kind of do that little flick move.
This is a critical shot right here in the ninth.
And a little bit of a low
He
pocket.
saws it.
And a little bit of low pocket. Kind of shook his head a little bit as he walked off.
First one here is big, right here. He needs the first one to shut Dave out. Anything less than a strike, Dave goes off. He can still beat
How
him.
about the TOC? The TOC match, the first match with Maldonado and Tommy Jones.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Yeah, that was a good match. That's a big ball right here.
Aye!
Ooh, solid 8. Solid 8.
Ow.
Davey's got a chance here.
I've left a few of those.
Dave's going to need a double.
I left a ring 10 and a stone 9 against Dave Fleming in Fulton in the fourth place match, and I think I lost by like less than 10. I think he punched out of whichever. It is so demoralizing when you put the ball right there and you see it push through, and it's like, wow.
You know, I can tell you, I've been with Dave last couple weekends. I don't see him missing. He's been so good all day today. That solid 8 pin was a big opening right there.
That was huge. So 235 for Manini. So who's the bigger legend, Breeden or Kuchera?
Oh, you know, Dave Kuchera, we're just wannabes. Donnie Breeden's the man.
Okay.
Well, everybody
see,
has a lot of respect for Donnie Breeden.
And this is kind of the nice thing of doing this and bowling this tournament, is meeting a lot of the people that I probably never would have met if Dan and Scott didn't get this going.
There it is.
It just spanks
Needs
it
the
right
next
out
one.
of there.
Big shot right here. He's tough.
And and he didn't panic or anything. Didn't try to make the big move. He just kept doing what he does.
He's done it all day, all last week. He's just throwing the ball so well.
Now is
Yeah,
that
that's a
a
big
is that
ball.
a pin down?
Yeah,
dart
this is a
code?
pin down.
Okay.
It's a pin down dart code he's throwing.
I'm still trying to figure out still trying to get my equipment finalized for Vegas. What I want to do with it.
Got it a little bit right. Oh, just didn't finish. Well, he still had a great tournament. Great tournament, Dave.
Yeah, needed that one. Just gave it too much
Just got a
room.
little bit right with it.
I've been debating on like the dark code, the Spectra, the altered reality, the Wolverine, some kind of some pearls and stuff.
Very good game there.
So David Kuchera finishes 227, falls by 8 to David Manini, and now the legend Don Breeden comes up. And we'll be back in a couple minutes for the championship match. Lord, try to get David Kuchera to talk a little bit. And we can't.
He's a little shy.
We can't shut him up, and then all of a sudden you give him a mic and he goes, no, 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 no.
Yeah, I think Donnie changed balls from earlier today. I think he's throwing a green quantum right now.
I had the Raven Quantum. I knew someone that got me Raven Quantum off the PBA truck in Wichita one year, and actually it is on Fort Leavenworth base, and I need to get it redrilled for my son because that ball is very good.
Well, it'll be interesting to see.
Nice ball, Dave.
See how he releases this. He's thinking about something, and you never know how his mind's thinking because he thinks totally different than everybody else, for sure.
If I remember right, he was kind of between second and third.
Yeah, he's probably playing up around 12.
Yeah, he's about 11-10.
Yeah, that was a nice
and
pitch.
that's kind of what I'm wondering, if that side roll, how much tilt he's going to be able to get that ball to set in.
The biggest thing is to watch his hand because his position of his hand is really what the ball is doing. If he's trying to get it to roll early or down the lane or around the lane, it looks like right now he's throwing that quantum where it's hooking. So
that looks like one of the zones, one of the combat zones. Kind of looked like it had a Pearl-esque look to it. Didn't look like it was a solid. I could be wrong though. I actually.
Oh no, yeah, that's not a quantum.
Who? Oh, so I'm talking about Flow Bowling and talking about old equipment. They had Larry Lichtenstein on there talking about a bunch of stuff, and that ball just doesn't want to push through. And they were talking to Brad Miller was on there too, and they were talking about using one ball for the whole tournament. And I think they were talking about Mark Roth and how he had done something somewhere and only used one ball. And the other guy that was on there says, well, what ball was that? And Lichtenstein goes, GTB. And I was like, oh, yeah. And Brad goes, never heard of it. And I'm like, oh. It was one of the standout balls when Brunswick really started getting, serious and trying with the weight cores and everything. And Brad Miller goes, never heard of it. I was like, that dates me a little bit. I think there's a big move that needs to be made by Manini. And I'm wondering, and
Donnie's going to go look for something else. He knows the reaction that he's looking for and right what he has in his hand right now, isn't it?
Yeah, because it looked like the ball might be burning up a little bit.
The heads are hooking really, really pretty hard in the heads, and you go around it where Dave got in trouble last time and went right with it and it didn't finish. Either you're going to have to make a move right and play up it, or you're going to have to move in away from the heads.
I'm thinking probably a pretty decent move by Manini right now. See how much further he goes, because they're getting real crisp on the back end now.
Yeah, he moved in quite a bit deeper there.
And just
that was a good look right there.
Banks it in there.
Really good look right there.
Waiting on.
Yeah, Donnie had to go get a couple more balls.
He went out to the truck. Let's see what he can grab. Is that an idol?
That's an idol.
That's a pretty new ball. That's not.
Yeah, that's fairly new for
Donnie.
Donnie.
Not breeding approved, is it?
That's new for Donnie. That's new for Donnie. Everybody knows Donnie. That's new.
Yeah, that's.
This is truly just a guess, and I like his odds here.
And he actually got a little bit more right. And that's kind of what I'm wondering, where he's...
Yeah, the gutters are straighter, and inside of about 10, 11, 12, 13, it gets really hooky, and then the inside of that, it's got a better look.
Because he actually he was more closer to 10 on that one than he was with the last one.
That was truly just a guess. I mean, that was a good guess. You probably maybe move maybe a little right on that, play a little tighter off the gutter. Yeah, that's where that hooked up on the lane. Yeah, that's where he's gonna be.
I was trying to see how he has it drilled. That's one thing I'd like to do is just get a nice simple drill press with a jig in my garage.
Most of the stuff that Donnie drills, well, that I've seen him have, like, yeah, that hooked early.
Yeah,
most of it's with the statics a little negative shifted, so it doesn't flare as much. He doesn't like to throw stuff that flares.
That's kind of how much ASIM stuff does he throw? Probably not much.
He doesn't throw a lot of. He throws a lot of symmetrical stuff.
If he and I'm sure he knows and stuff. One thing that I tinkered with and found out it works pretty well. Grab an ASIM and run the mass bias either under the thumb or left of the thumb, and run the pin about 4 inches off his pap. I bet he would do some damage with some ASIM stuff like that.
If you were going to go to any of Donnie's classes, it would be he doesn't like things that wobble. So he likes them to be straight.
And it doesn't wobble.
And right.
It doesn't wobble. It takes. I did that to a Dream On, and the flare could be pretty big, and it just squeezed it. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, he's going to be tough in there. There's a lot more angle right there.
Yeah.
Angle to the head pin's big right now.
And I was throwing the Dream Big Pearl my last game over here, and I was looking 17, 18, kind of that angle, and Brian's a little bit further left than that now with the traffic that's been on there. But yeah, this pair likes the hook.
I just seen Donnie pull out this will be an interesting shot here if he's going to throw this burgundy hammer. This has got this is an axis-weighted burgundy hammer, so this dot's going to go right down the lane. You watch it if he throws it.
That was actually pretty popular when that ball came out, and that was when hammers started. You know, your pins would be like probably 0 to 1, and they started getting some pins that were out a little bit. And I drilled one up way back when for a guy, and you know the 2 rings on the old Fab label was dead nut on his axis. Drilled another one for another guy, and it kind of shifted a little bit, and I couldn't understand why. I had to call Rick Benoit, who him and Bob Benoit were still doing the pro shop at Gage Bowl in Topeka. And he introduced me into pin position, even on axis, on how it makes the ball roll. So,
yeah, this next shot right here with Donnie with this axis-weighted burgundy.
Even move further right.
Yeah, right up it. Oh, stuffed it and leaves a solid 8. Stuffed it. That was one of his best pitches all day. Looked good.
So he's already moved about 4 to 5 boards right.
He's right up the rail.
He started. That one he stuffed at about 6, 7, 8. And it's amazing how, I mean, I don't say amazing because with his roll he can do that, but he still gets it through the fronts real nice. And there hasn't been a
that
whole...
all has to do with his hand release. If you watch his hand, it's if his thumb is down, he's trying to get the ball down the lane. You know,
I'm
so
kind of looking at
down,
it. I'm kind of looking at his hands almost kind of like this.
Exactly. So you know when he does that ball is going down the lane.
It's almost like his thumb. His thumb is kind of looking 12, but by the time he gets out of it, his fingers are looking 9. From underneath looking 9 and just flagging out of it, and it's just clearing nice.
This is a big ball here for Donnie. He's close. Nice shot there.
Yep.
That was 10 back, no doubt. It's close.
And Brian's probably sitting there going,
yeah.
Okay.
Brian knows he's got a strike. He needs to pitch one here. He needs to post one down the lane here. Give it a chance.
bit inside 20. It just
Man, that was a
flushes
lot of
it.
ball.
That might still be the astrophysics he was throwing earlier. Yeah, I think it is. I do know one thing. I'm getting me another synergy. I pulled that ball out, and it helped me a bunch. And Brian said he's not big on the idle stuff for him.
Oh,
That would
that was
pushed.
almost a 2.810 there. That'd have been a tough.
Yeah.
That'd have been a tough blow.
Caught a break though. Brian said he's not really big on the idle stuff as much. But for me, I have a high road and an idle, and they're kind of squirting on me a little bit. But I love the
Nice
reaction I
spare.
have on the synergy. I told him, I said, and I even talked to a friend of mine in Michigan today, chatting a little bit. I said, I'm just going to take the high road and the idle and just re-drill and pin down like I have the synergy. You know, maybe it's just that core company. In fact, Rick Benoit kind of talked about layouts that work out for certain companies, for certain bowlers.
This ball right here will be the game right here.
Yeah,
Show
he
him
pulled
what he
that
got
one.
here. He got it in on the lane.
Ooh.
That ball went right to the hole.
Now that one, and where I'm sitting at, I can look straight down between like
Yeah.
5 and 10.
Yeah, that
And
ball
that
rolled.
one-
That ball rolled early, went right to the hole, stopped on the oil line, and went right to the head pin. Blasted it.
He rolled that one over like 8, 9.
This next one's a big shot right here. Watch his hand release here. See where his
He's
thumb is?
really getting
See where his
around
thumb
it.
is?
Yep.
Look at that.
He really got around that one to
And
get
that's
it
a
to-
burgundy hammer out on the gutter, axis weighted. To get some of that
Yeah.
with the bullseye,
I
get some
don't
of
need
that.
to spend no stinking $200.
You don't need $200 with Donnie. He could beat you with a boulder. He's tough.
Hey, I've got a ball I'd like to see him do something with because I totally hate it. I'm not going to say what it is, but I'm willing to give it to him and see what he does with it.
It's a big pitch here.
I wonder if he muscled that one a little bit.
Yeah, they're over under right there. He gets a little short with it. And it hooks and he gets a little long and it doesn't finish.
I got to think he might have unknowingly juiced it. I didn't see what his speed was last time on that lane, but that's 2 in a row where that just didn't read back.
He's going to need this one here in the ninth to put some pressure on Donnie.
So 225 for Brian and 243 for Don. So, yeah, it's pretty.
Here's a big ball right here.
That one he made a move and that one just kept
Yeah.
going. I don't think he.
Donnie's just got to stay clean and it's over.
I don't think Brian got that one right where he needed to. I can't tell by the angle where I'm setting, but
Well, there's not very many people that can play where Don's playing today.
that's why he was
And
leading.
And that's the difference. He's one of the toughest right-handers on the gutter. If he has a gutter, he's almost virtually unbeatable. He just has different arsenal than everybody else has, and it's not just the balls; it's the releases and everything that comes with it.
And it works for him.
Absolutely.
And not everyone is going to be able to do what he does.
No, he has a different thought process.
That one's 9-10.
He just needs to cover the 10 and
Yeah.
move on.
How many times does he adjust just with his speed?
Oh man, I've seen him throw soft. I've seen him throw 10-step approaches. I've seen him throw really fast, like he's doing right now. It's really what really changes the speed is the friction of the ball, right? So
Right.
if you got a urethane ball, it's gonna, and you got a little oil, it's gonna go faster. But he doesn't throw anything that's really too aggressive.
That's left.
Hold on.
That's left.
Yeah, that opens
That's
opens
left.
up the game there a little bit.
Now we're looking at 210.
That's a big miss right there.
210 to 204. So
Donnie's going to have to put some pressure on and get the first two in the 10th.
he's got a double.
Yeah, he's got to get the first two. He'll shake it off. He's probably a little heated right now.
I was going to say that probably doesn't happen very often, missing the 10 pin right there. He threw that, and again, he threw that one right into friction, and that ball didn't stop.
Yeah.
That one kept going.
Donnie needs some count here. Needs a spare, good count.
So, and even right now,
gonna have to force him to mark, right?
Yeah, and what makes that huge is Don needed a double to force Manini to get the first one in the 10th.
Yeah, exactly.
Now Manini can just go. He can go 19-18.
Yeah, I'm sure Donnie's wanting to know where the shot went from the earlier part of the day. This TV pair is totally different than probably what he had seen all day, for sure.
Well, I moved down here like 15 16 after going 270, and it blew up. I was throwing the Synergy, and I go 270, and it held some inside shots pretty well. Yeah, that wasn't going to happen down here. So Breeden finishes 210.
He had 200 even, so.
200. Excuse me.
Yeah, we need a spare here, a strike, is game over, huh?
So see what Manini does on the first ball, determine what he needs. But he does not need to strike, though.
No 2-8-10s or anything like that. Oh, he finished it out and got his strike. Just keep it on the lane and the game's over.
Yep.
Just needs count. I don't think he'll get crazy with anything on this ball. Get her down the lane.
His speed on that one was actually a half mile an hour slower, because I remember 1811 was his speed on that right lane when he left I think it was the 2-pin.
That's all she wrote.
That's going to be ball game. So Brian Manini wins here in Leavenworth. Doug, thanks for joining us. It was fun.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. And we'll talk with Don Breeden and Brian Manini here real quick. As Manini is going to finish with a 204 to 200 over Don Breeden. And we'll get these two guys down here. We got to talk to Bud. Get over here, Don. So first we got to find out. You're bringing out an idol, which is like one of the newest balls you could probably have in your arsenal, since you're I call it the relic ball master.
No, I didn't have an idol today.
Oh, was that-
Well, I did throw it a couple of times. You're right. Yeah, just for a guess.
It just looked like early that you could get through the fronts pretty decent, but you just weren't getting that back interaction.
They were hooking a lot more on this pair, way more.
Was it just the fronts were burning up on you a little bit?
Well, just had a lot of games on them, longer in the day and everything. It's going to happen.
Then you bring out the burgundy hammer, and it looked pretty good, and then you just had that one shot. It just went on the left lane at red, and it just didn't stop on you.
It happened. Well, this lane hooked a little more anyway, but no, that's okay. I just took a guess, and it almost worked out, but.
I will have you know that Kevin Duncan said Don Breeden, the legend. So I decided to let you know.
Well, he exaggerates a little bit, but he's a good friend, old friend.
Well, congratulations, nice bowling and great qualifying today.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
Brian Manini with the win, and that didn't come easy. It was almost like watching the TOC in the first match on the 10 pins.
Yeah, that pair got weird.
I don't know, I got to the point where I moved further left and I had a good look. On the right lane, I moved 2 boards left and had a really good look, and then it just kind of seemed like it started carrying down a little bit. And I don't know if urethane had anything to do with it or not. I don't know. I did amp up a couple, threw it a little harder.
I wondered on a couple of those where it kind of squirted through if you just pushed it through a little bit, but your reaction was kind of like you were surprised about it. But then on the 10th frame, you pulled back about a half mile an hour or more and just let the ball read a little bit more.
Yeah, I've been all day. I've had about 5 or 6 shots today where I amped up and threw it way harder. 18 and a half or whatever, 18.2, and 17 and a half, 17.7 is where I needed to be. And I was trying to hit the 5 at the break, and I missed right a couple times, and it stayed there and still red, and I'm like, okay, cool. So I thought I had a few boards to miss, thankfully, at least early. Late, this got weird, so.
Well,
We got lucky. He missed, he had a bad break with the 10 pin and then missed it, and so yeah, I understand.
The way the pattern, I don't know if I want to say held up, but the way the pattern transitioned with as high as the scores were, and talking to Dave Axon earlier, and I think he nailed it, was it would kind of give you the illusion like you needed to keep a small move when you actually needed to make a bigger zone move and maybe a ball change with it, with your down lane reaction.
Yeah, the first 3 games I threw a pin down all road box, and it looked great. And then I saw I saw it happen a little bit where the ball was starting to read a little early, so I switched to the astrophysics, and I moved 3 boards left with my feet and stayed there for like 2-3 games, and then I ended up moving I think 4 total in this match or in these last couple matches. But yeah, I didn't have to make giant moves. I just had to. It was more important to hit the right spot down lane at the right speed for me.
Migrate with the oil a little bit and make sure you got your push down lane.
Got to find that little dry board that's out there somewhere.
It's got to be somewhere. Yeah. Brian Manini, nice job. And you going? No, you're not going to Omaha.
No, we got women's state at our place all month. So
damn,
yeah,
women.
I got to work.
All righty, Brian Manini with the win, and over Don Breeden, and that's going to be the finals here at Leavenworth at Crown Lanes. And remember, March 26th and 27th in Omaha at, I believe it's Western Lanes and Mockingbird. Mockingbird? Moonlight. No. I got to look over here at the Western and Mockingbird. There we go. I want to make sure I get the name of the alleys right. But just jump in the Facebook and let Dan and Scott know, and they'll get you on the list. And once again, a huge thanks to everyone here at Crown Lanes. Been perfect. Everything worked out great. And once again, congratulations to Brian Manini with the win over Don Breeden. And we will probably see you in a couple months for the final at Summit Lanes, April 24th. Don't forget Omaha, March 26th and 27th for a full weekend of tournaments. So for Dan and Scott, I'm Ryan. Congratulations to Brian with the win, and we will see you in a couple months in Lee Summit.